Lydia Des Dolles, Fight Connect TV, and I'm delighted to be joined at Frank Warren's Birmingham show with former legendary fighter turned coach Henry Wharton. How are we feeling?
Lovely, thank you, Lydia. You?
I'm very well. Great to see you here.
Yeah, nice to see you as well. Thank you, Reese as well.
Yes, we must not forget Reese behind the camera.
Really good. Good night, great night of boxing so far. With George boxed brilliant. Just the night's just getting better, I suppose.
Absolutely. Oh, we briefly chatted earlier on. Obviously, you're we'd nearly say your son at this stage. You've got a bond so close to him. But George Davey, obviously, great win for him tonight. Early days in his career, but let's talk about his performance. How did you feel he went?
His performance is just getting better and better because what he is, in order to be a good fighter down the line, it's not about what they're doing now. It's about educating them to get further on. It's almost like justifying your degrees. You know, get ready, prepared at home, and then you have a better chance of achieving your goals in the future. Everything he done tonight was what he does in the gym. We call the gym like the A-team shed. I don't know if everybody's watched the A-team, but the A-team was, they used to go behind closed doors, build a machine, a car, a tank, whatever it was, and send it out when it used to do damage. And it was prepared to do most things. But George is almost like that. With the athletes that we've got, we make them in the gym, and we send them out to in front of the crowds, and they achieve goals. And this is where George is getting better and better because he's doing things now that a young man of 5 fights with very little amateur background, doesn't come from a GB background, doesn't come from a national championship here, gold medal here, but is performing on a big level and on a big stage, and is producing all the goods. So the future is really bright for him.
It really is. Let's talk about your own involvement in the coaching. You know, your own involvement in that. You've walked the walk, you've talked the talk, you've been there. I mean, obviously your guys take a massive vote of confidence from that. But how has would you think, or would you say, how has your own fighting career helped you or benefited you in your coaching role?
I just think it all helps because I've seen a lot. I've seen all this long time ago, and never once did I ever think that I'll have a reference of this will be good for the likes of George and for the likes of the pros that we've got now, or the up-and-coming amateurs that we've got. But everything in your brain you never forget. And I've always been a boxing fan, a little bit like us all, I suppose. We're boxing fans. And I've always took that knowledge on, and it's easy for me. All I have to do is dig deep enough. And I know a lot of things, I've learned a lot of things over the years, and hopefully it stands the lads in good stead. I've got a good coaching team with me, fantastic coaching team. We all listen, and we listen to the fighters themselves. We actually can hear them, and you know where they are, we know when to knock it on the head sparring. George was sparring the other day, and he was looking really good, and we still had one more spar left. I had a word with Ron, and Ron said, he's done right now. He's at his best he's going to be right now. He's sparring really good, his reflexes are good, his movement's good. That's it. So we listen to ourselves, and we train good, and we jack the sparring. We just said, that's it, he's done. And he went, no, I've got one more spar. We said, George, you've got no more sparring up until you fight. That's where we get educated from our past as boxers, as living in the gym with your fighter. You actually learn how they live and what's good for them and what suits them.
Absolutely. Before I let you go, because I know we still have a busy night here tonight and you want to have a pint, we'll let you go have your pint. But I must ask you, you know, as you say, you've seen all this before. Get your pint. You're okay. I wish I could join you. Cheers to you, as we would say. Cheers. But as you say, you've seen this all, you've been here before. How has it changed? What are the major changes that you see from when you were fighting to what's happening now?
I think the major changes is people like us coming from a background where we've been. We learn so much now, and we pass it on. We're willing to pass it on. The likes of our stable, we're willing to pass so much more on. When I turned pro, I turned pro with my amateur coaches, good or bad, and we'd done the best we could, and we fought for world titles. But I think because we went a little bit further, and we've took all that knowledge on, hopefully we can take the next generation of fighters that little bit further, fight for world titles, and hopefully win them.
Absolutely. Well, what a fantastic note to leave our interview on. But before we go, I must ask you, we have a big fight tonight. Fury Wilder 3, what are your predictions?
Fury all day, but not without its a little few scares. Hopefully, you know, he comes through unscathed, but I just think he's too big and he's too powerful, and I think he's educated. His education is going to be paramount to him. I think his jab's good. He's a very educated fighter. He's been around the world and he understands boxing a little bit like we've learned, and he's learned and he's matured. I just think he's at that particular age now. If he's fit, which he is, I don't think there's a heavyweight around what beats him.
Well, listen, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much, Henry Wharton, for Fight Connect TV.